Good morning, welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Monday again. It is Monday, December 15th. We're halfway through the month already. And a week and a half, 10 days away from Christmas. Let me change the background here so we are morning. Hope you had a good weekend. Woo! There we go. And the banner. There we go. Good morning, Mary. How was your show? Did you have it? She says, good morning, PK and everyone. Happy Monday. Gosh, it is December 15th. Only 10 before... I know! Does everyone feel slightly rushed these days? I know I do, but one day at a time. One task at a time. Indeed. So did you get snow? Did you have your show? Not that I meant that to rhyme. And if you had your show, how did it go? Oh my gosh, I keep rhyming. Apparently coffee is required. Itchy. My weekend was okay. I have 2 of the 3 installer blankets done. They just need to be steam cleaned in the dryer. The 2 neighbor ones are done. I just have to weave in the yarn ends and go in the dryer. So the clock is ticking, but I am getting there. Good morning, Beth. She says, yes, totally rushed. Well, you can take a breath this week. As we get closer to Christmas, fewer books are being published. Not as many. Next week might be even trickier. But next week with Christmas, we won't have a Friday show. That'll help. All right, first up in our cozy mysteries. Let's see, other quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Monday night. Our next sprints are tomorrow night, Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. The Mysterious Death of Junetta Plum by Valerie Wilson Wesley, a name in mysteries. First in the Harriet Stone mysteries. 1926, Harriet Stone, a liberated, educated black woman, and Lovey, the orphaned biracial 12-year-old she is bound to protect, are Harlem-bound, embarking on a new, hopefully less traumatic chapter in their lives. They have been invited to move from Connecticut to Harriet's cousin, Junetta Plum, who runs a boarding house for independent-minded single women. It's a bold move, since Harriet has never met Junetta, but the fatalities of the Spanish flu and other tragedies have already forced her and Lovey to face their worst fears. Alone but for each other, they have little left to lose, or so it seems, as they arrive at sophisticated Junetta's impressive brownstone. Her cousin has a sharp edge that makes Harriet slightly uncomfortable. Still, after retiring to her room for the night, she finally falls asleep, only to awaken to Junetta arguing with someone downstairs. In the morning, she makes a shocking discovery at the foot of the stairs. What ensues will lead Harriet to question Junetta's very identity and to wonder if she and Lovey are in danger as well. It will also tie Harriet to 5 strangers. Among them, Harriet is sure someone knows something. What she doesn't yet know is that one will play a crucial role in helping her investigate her cousin's murder, that she will be tied to the others in ways she could never imagine, and that her life will take off in a startling new direction. Well, I guess we knew that her cousin was going to die because it says so in the title. They didn't have to be so obscure until the end. Mary says, I did have my show, and it was a good one. Oh, nice. Nice way to end the year, since that was my last one. Did get a dusting of snow, but very cold. 0 degrees. Wow, last night. So faucets dripping all night. Yeah, down there. I bet that was. And Beth says, that sounds good. Yes. All right. Much Ado About Stuffing by Matilda Swift. 6 in the Parchment Papers Mysteries. Before the parchment paper tea rooms, there was Jessica Askew and her humble food truck, the Rolling Pin. The rolling pin. Working the bustling, that's funny, it's a truck and it's rolling, got it. Working the bustling Cambridge market in the freezing run-up to Christmas, Jessica is weighing her options, a profitable holiday season or a complicated trip back to Little Quillington. But her best friend, Pippa Pankhurst, calls with a crisis that changes her plans. Pippa's younger brother, Finn, a Cambridge University PhD student, has vanished, causing panic in the Pankhurst family. When Jessica finally tracks him down, she finds him on the brink of fleeing. He's discovered his recent snowball date dead, and he's sure the police will put him top of their suspect list. Pippa rushes to Cambridge to join the investigation, and with the unlikely assistance of Hera, the affectionate college beagle, the two friends must sift through academic rivalries, festive cheer, and dangerous secrets to find the killer. Along the way, they eat copious amounts of cake and uncover buried truths related to the Askew family legacy. Can Jessica and Pippa solve the murder before the Christmas countdown hits 0 and Finn is permanently put on ice? I don't think eating copious amounts of cake is really relevant to trying to save your brother from murder charges. Kinda not a priority. Beth says, congratulations, Mary. Below freezing last night here in Central Texas. Wow. So my faucets are dripping too. Let's see. Friday and Saturday we got a foot of snow, and Friday and Saturday the temperatures were in the single digits and teens. Yesterday we hit 50, and we're supposed to be in the 40s for the most part this week. Welcome to Montana. Murder in the Orchard, 19th in the Ozarks Cozy Mystery Series. Della Fox is finally enjoying a peaceful autumn in Clover, Missouri. Business at her vintage store is thriving, her relationship with Bryce is flourishing, and she's even found time to relax, until apple days at the Broomfield Orchard shatters the small town's seasonal serenity. When renowned orchard owner Claudine Broomfield is found murdered behind the barn during the festival's opening day, the entire community is left reeling. The shocking discovery sends ripples through Clover, especially when witnesses realize they initially mistook the victim for someone else. Was Claudine the intended target, or did the killer strike the wrong person? As Della investigates alongside Sheriff Jared Metcalf and Chief Raylan Dalton, she uncovers a tangled web of old grudges, unpaid debts, and buried secrets. The list of suspects grows with each interview. Claudine's own son, who argued with her that morning, a disgruntled volunteer with a grudge, a mechanic owed money, and an equipment manager with a suspicious timeline. Even more troubling, an older woman in gloves keeps appearing in witness accounts, but no one can identify her. Just when Della thinks she's found the truth about Claudine's murder, a shocking connection emerges to the decades-old disappearance of Lydia Bland, a mystery Della hasn't been able to let go. A surprise visit from a woman with ties to both cases reveals that powerful forces in Clover have been pulling strings for years, and some people will do anything to keep the past buried. With Bryce at her side and danger closing in, Della must navigate a maze of deception where the town's most respected citizens may be its most dangerous. Can she expose the truth before the killer strikes again? And will finally solving one mystery only lead her deeper into another? I don't know, but that St. Bernard is like, take the picture. Just take the picture. Mary says, thanks, Beth. I once lived in Killeen, Texas, Fort Hood. We bought our first home there when stationed there. I worked in the city public library. Oh, nice. And Beth says, oh my gosh, I lived in North Austin for 30 years, only a few miles away. Cool. Hot Tub Homicide by Sally Bayless. First in the Rosy View in Cozy Mysteries. An afternoon meet and greet, a gorgeous lakeside setting, and a murder that bubbles to the surface. After inheriting a historic lakeside inn, Meredith Whitfield isn't sure if she's found her next chapter or bitten off more than she can manage. Hosting a summer reception to meet local business owners seems like the perfect way to test the waters. But when a prominent guest is found dead in the hot tub, the event turns from festive to fatal. The police quickly fixate on a single suspect, but Meredith isn't convinced. With the inn's reputation hanging in the balance, she begins her own quiet investigation. Her tech-savvy desk clerk, a clever chef, a reserved professor next door, and a big orange cat all pitch in. And I don't think the cat's helping much. And Meredith begins piecing together what really happened. But someone in town wants their secrets to stay hidden, and they'll stop at nothing to keep it that way. End of that row. I'm taking my time because there isn't a whole lot, and we need things to look at on Friday too. Dog's Kitchen by Neil S. Plackey. 22nd in the Golden Retriever Mysteries. Lights, camera, and sabotage in the kitchen. When the Cuisine Network brings its brand new reality show Dog's Kitchen to the peaceful Friar Lake Conference Center, Steve Levitan expects chaos, but not sabotage. Celebrity chefs, foodie influencers, and gourmet-loving dogs descend on the property, turning Steve's summer into a whirlwind of barking, baking, and behind-the-scenes drama. His golden retriever, Rochester, just wants to stay close to the food. I don't blame him. Then the accidents begin. As filming ramps up, strange mishaps threaten to shut down production. Equipment fails at the worst possible moments. Key ingredients vanish. A star chef threatens to walk. Priceless truffles are swapped. And a crew member is injured in the chaos. If the show collapses, Friar Lake's future and Steve's job may go down with it. Good thing Rochester knows a scent of trouble when he smells one. With careers and reputations on the line, Steve and Rochester must sniff out whoever's sabotaging the show. It's a mystery without a murder, but the stakes are just as real, and the truth could cost far more than money. Angel says, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Monday. Beth says, good morning. Crystals, Crooks, and Chaos. Third in the Emerald City Paranormal Cozy Mysteries by Teresa Crater. Sky Hero is just trying to keep her witchy shop afloat through the Yule rush without hexing a customer or herself. But when a mysterious package arrives containing a crystal skull with more attitude than her espresso machine, things go sideways fast. I wouldn't accept that. But when a mysterious package arrives containing... they just said the same thing. Things take a wild turn. Add a few meddling wizards, a stolen artifact, and her friends, plus one very opinionated dog, and you've got a recipe for pure chaos. Can Sky and her crew recover the relic before the bad guys turn it into magical mayhem? Can somebody proofread their summary? No. Happy Holidays and Homicide by Patty Larson, 7th in the Fleming Family Cozy Mysteries. And Mary says, hi, Angel. A Merry Christmas means family, food, gifts under the tree, and murder, only if you're a Fleming. Fee's excited that everyone she loves has come home to reading for the holidays, so much so that it's hard to know who to hug first. The best kind of problem ever. But when an unexpected guest drops in with a request for a chat, she's not sure what to do, especially when that guest also brings homicide to her door. Can Fee and her amazing family get out of one another's way in time to solve the case? Out the killer and deck the halls before murder ruins their perfect Christmas? Probably. Murder Divined by Kat McGee, 8th in the Witching Hour Ghost Hunters Mysteries. The Witching Hour Ghost Hunters crew travels deep into the mountains of East Tennessee to investigate their most bizarre location yet. A full-blown medieval castle complete with stone turrets and lonely battlements mysteriously dropped into the heart of Appalachia. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Inside, witch and psychic medium Marna Langley is captivated by the magic castle's tragic phantom, Victor, a dashing violinist whose ghostly music echoes through the stone corridors with a beauty that is dangerously enchanting. Marna finds herself lured into the castle's catacombs, his melody pulling her to investigate. Lil, her famously snarky feline familiar, is having none of it. She declares the spectral serenades sound like a screeching owl with a head cold, and is convinced the handsome ghost is more manipulative than musical. Meanwhile, Marna's co-host, Royce Davenport, can only watch with growing concern as the woman he's falling for slips into secret passages and amateur sleuths. She slips into amateur sleuths? The haunting ballad turns deadly when a pushy music historian is found sprawled at the foot of the castle's grand staircase, his death a jarring modern counterpoint to Victor's ghostly serenade. Despite the help of her ghost-shifting cat and her psychically gifted niece, it becomes spookily clear that Victor's sad story might be a performance, and his music isn't just a lament but a cover-up for a crime someone is still willing to kill over. To solve the case, Marna must break free from the violinist's hypnotic influence and distinguish true love from a deadly enchantment. If she can't, someone else is destined to become the tragic final note in the castle's symphony of murder. End of that row. That says, thank you for getting annoyed at errors in the summaries. They drive me crazy. They drive me crazy. Or they tell too much. Like, okay, so why should I bother to read the book now? And Angel says, I've noticed a lot of their summaries like that. Yeah. Mary says, poor editing and proofreading these days for sure. And they crank them out, and they're only like 157 pages. It's like, spend a little more time. Here, give me 20 bucks and I'll look over your summary. The Cat's Eye Charm by Clea Simon, 5th in a Witch Cats of Cambridge mystery. See, look at that, short and sweet. When a cat goes missing, Witch Detective Becca is on the case, but when that search turns up a stolen gem, she realizes that more than an errant kitty is involved. Luckily, Becca's cats, Harriet, Laurel, and Clara, can use their hereditary powers to help their hapless human, solving the mystery of the famous Cat's Eye Sapphire, as well as unraveling a knotty question that's closer to home for the 3 magical felines. Is it just me? There's only 2 on the cover. Wow. That's not fair. The Retired Assassin's Guide to Orchid Hunting by Naomi Kuttner, 2nd in the Retired Assassin's Guide. It says it looks like it's set in New Zealand. Assassin, gardener, reluctant cat adoptee. All Dante wants is to be left alone in the small New Zealand town no one's heard of. No drama, no bodies, no questions. But then, of course, the Orchid Convention comes to town, and Dante is knee-deep in suspects, intrigue, and red herrings. On top of all this, Dante must navigate a mysterious woman from his past, cat issues, and the terrifying prospect of a first date. And he has to do it while fighting his instinct to solve problems the old-fashioned way, permanently. This is a cozy paranormal mystery with found family ghosts, a grumpy assassin, and a sunshine gardener. Come for the murder, stay for the cat, the gardens, and the chaos. And the kitchen sink. Goodness. Why do you need it to be paranormal ghostish? Graves and Grimoires by Ali Cat. Oh, that's unfortunate. And Tasha Oakwood, 4th in the Witches of Willowbark Cozy Mysteries. It seems like the worst prank ever until one of those people turns up dead. I'm Aurora Hart, cat dragon owner. reluctant spellcaster, unwilling magnet for every supernatural mess this town coughs up. And now my best friend's name is carved into one of those stones, which means the clock is ticking. The Muskberry witches are rallying the covens, the town is reeling from the loss of a cherished community member, and the Glimmerfen Gazette has already splashed the murder across the front page. With vampires prowling on the edges, I'm out. Cult whispers rising, and a centuries-old pack clawing its way back into the present, one thing is certain. Someone in Willowbark is willing to kill to see their ends met. And if I don't untangle this mess soon, the next freshly dug grave could belong to Maeve. The town may look quaint, but in Willowbark, the dead don't rest easy, and neither will I. Dun dun dun. Verses and Curses by Sarah Nofke, fourth in the Ella Bloom Mysteries. They say music soothes the savage beast, but in Gloamington it's more likely to summon one. When Gloamington hosts its first talent show, the stage is set for more than just performances. It becomes the perfect venue for murder when a famous pop star dies. Malcolm Fox and Ella Bloom must navigate a maze of suspects thick with jealousy and ambition. From bitter contestants to obsessed admirers, everyone wants something from the manipulative diva. The pop star climbed to fame over the bodies of her competition and the broken hearts of her obsessed fans, but this time, she became the casualty. As they search for the killer, Ella also tries to hone her mysterious powers, and Malcolm desperately seeks one memory that could restore everything. But as magical talents spiral out of control and old grudges take the spotlight, solving this case might cost them everything. Can they unmask a murderer before someone else hits their final note? Or will the killer's encore claim another victim? End of that row. And that is... Oh, my alarm didn't go off. Oh. All right. That is all we have time for today. Emily says, hi everyone, hello! Blowing snow in my face with negative temperatures is how I woke up today. Blech. And Beth says, hi Emily. Mary says, gosh Emily, we have a light dusting of snow and yesterday's wind was something else and brought the temps way down due to wind chill. Stay warm. Yeah, don't mess with wind chill. And she says, those parents really saddled that young Miss Cat with a lifetime of jokes. Grew up with a Polly parrot. Wow. Parents, they think they're so clever. They don't have to live with it. Personally. That says the first Retired Assassin's Guide is on sale for 99 cents on Kindle. Nice. And it's also KU. Very good. Thank you for the information. Well, that is it for today. Everybody, please be safe out there. Read good books. Again, I don't have any sprints tonight. Our next sprints are tomorrow night, Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. We do every Tuesday and Thursday evening and Saturday afternoons. You don't have to read. You can work on projects. You can close your eyes, whatever it is that is your self-care. And Mary says, thanks, Miss PK. Stay warm, everyone. Absolutely. Be safe. Alrighty. Thank you, thank you. On Wednesday, we'll look at the darker side, the crime fiction and thrillers. There aren't a whole lot, truly. So it might be a very short day. All right. Thank you, thank you. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day. God bless.